Republican Congressman and Chair Jason Smith of the House Ways and Means Committee, very powerful committee, and it is one of the committees that is looking into the Hunter Biden probe. Chairman, good to have you with us today. Thank you very much for joining us.
Great to be with you, Martha.
So we just saw several pieces of sound there from Attorney General Merrick Garland. And then we also heard in Bret Baier's interview with Gary Shapley, who said that he was in the room, several other people were in the room, when David Weiss told them, essentially, look, I have tried to investigate this in D.C., in Los Angeles. It is out of my hands. It's going nowhere. That's a paraphrase, I want to point out. So one side or the other is clearly not telling the truth here, Chairman.
It's clearly someone is lying, and that is what we've said all along, is that we're going to follow the facts. And what we have to follow is information from everyone who was present at that October 7th meeting that the whistleblower said that the prosecutor in Delaware said that, you know, he couldn't bring charges, especially in Washington, D.C., and that he was declined. He tried to bring charges in California and it was declined. He asked for a special counsel and he was declined. Yet the Attorney General of the United States has said in Senate testimony, in fact, that the prosecutor there in Delaware had complete independence. But that's why we're asking for 12 people. That's why eight individuals from the Department of Justice, 2 from the IRS, and 2 from the FBI, that we need to have them come in for testimony.
Are you going to get them?
We better. We've made it clear. Jim Jordan, Jamie Comer, and myself will use every tool that we have to make sure that they're held to that standard. I hope that they just voluntarily come in. I would think that would be the right thing to do. But if we have to find other measures, we'll get the information.
You know, one of the things that just keeps coming up in my mind as I go through all of this, Chairman Smith, is whether there was ever any investigation at all. Because Tony Bobulinski was involved in these deals. He has emails that say that he's meeting the then vice president, meeting the president's brother about these deals. And he obviously has been so frustrated. He turned over his cell phones, his laptop that had all of this information on it that could have corroborated with the emails that are on Hunter's laptop. And nobody ever called him. I mean, how does that happen? I mean, was there any investigation at all?
Martha, what is so disturbing is what the 2 whistleblowers who came before the Ways and Means Committee highlighted. They highlighted how throughout the over 5 years of investigating the tax crimes of Hunter Biden, they saw the Justice Department delay their ask. They saw them divulge information, and they saw continuous denials. For example, they wanted a search warrant of the guest house that Hunter Biden was staying in, which happened to be on the vice president at that time, Vice President Biden's property. But you had a prosecutor say there's no way that we could ever get a search warrant into the vice president's property. And then you saw Hunter Biden's attorneys being alleged that they were tipped off of a search warrant into Hunter Biden's storage unit in Northern Virginia. There's countless efforts. And what's even worse, Martha, is that because of these delay tactics, the tax crimes that Hunter Biden could have been charged under the year 2014 and 2015, the statute of limitations have now expired.
It is so stunning. And I want to play this soundbite from Tony Bobulinski when he turned over all of his information. And remember that one of the emails that he wrote and talked about was the list of who was going to get the money from this Chinese energy company. And it said H will hold 10% for the big guy, right? And we saw, you know, they weren't allowed to ask who the big guy is. Watch this.
Saying is corroborated by emails, WhatsApp chats, agreements, documents, and other evidence. I brought, I guess, for record, 3 phones that spanned the years 2015 through 2018. These phones have never been held by anybody else besides myself. and I will be providing to the FBI the devices which contain the evidence corroborating what I have said.
I mean, are you going to get an opportunity to ask David Weiss, why didn't you talk to Tony Bobulinski about all of the evidence that he had?
He's exactly one of the people that we've asked to come before Congress because we have a lot of questions that need to be asked between myself, Jamie Comer, and Jim Jordan from Mr. Weiss. And so absolutely, we need to look into that information. You know, the whistleblowers brought to our attention a message that was from Hunter Biden to a Chinese business partner that was basically forcing a response and demands, and in that he said he was seated right next to his father waiting for the phone call.
Yeah, there's two very clear things here that can be proven or disproven. One is, did Merrick Garland block the investigation in Washington, D.C. and in Los Angeles? And you've got people on both sides saying the opposite. One of them is true. And the other one that is discoverable is, was Joe Biden sitting next to Hunter Biden when he had that phone call, the shakedown of this Chinese executive? And they were denied getting location IDs on those two phones as part of this investigation. That's what was testified by Gary Shapley. It is absolutely stunning. Chairman Smith, thank you very much. I hope you'll come back and talk to us more about where this is going and whether or not you're getting these people to come testify for you. Thank you very much, sir. Good to have you here.
Thank you, Martha.